Well, Abbas Aslani is a senior research fellow at the Center for Middle East Strategic Studies based in Tehran. He's joining us from the Iranian capital. Sir, thank you very much indeed for being with us. The speculation grows about whether or not Iran has enriched uranium and how much of it may have. Does the fact that nobody knows about anything about that actually give Iran more or less leverage should it choose to get involved in talks over its nuclear program?
Rob, we have been seeing information war between the two sides on what has happened to Iran's nuclear program, including its nuclear material. On the facilities, the American side is saying that it has obliterated and destroyed the facilities. On the other side, Iran admits significant damages. However, it is saying that the overall program of the country remains viable. But surprisingly, we are seeing a third narrative emerging from some Western media. They are trying to say that the damages have been minimal and superficial, and the attacks have been ineffective. And it seems that there are this narrative, the third one, is aiming to provoke another round of conflict between the two sides in order to expand the conflict. And so that's why it could shift the situation from a fragile ceasefire into an operational pause. So this is important to take note. In the meantime, Iran is, cautious about the process. It has doubts about the ceasefire, which has been announced by the other side, because this could be used as a surprise factor in order to initiate another aggression against the country. There are discussions these days in Tehran that if Iran engages in another round of negotiations, maybe this could be used as a cover to deceive the country and also to start another round of military attack against the country. So that's one of the major obstacles to initiate a new round of discussions. In parallel, there is no, trust from the Iranian side toward the American side, because they were in the middle of the negotiations. All of a sudden, Israel disrupted the process. And later on, the United States joined that military adventure against the country. So these are major obstacles to, foreseeing a meaningful diplomatic process between Iran and the United States.
Donald Trump himself has said that he has not ruled out the possibility of striking Iran again if it's found that its nuclear capabilities are greater than was anticipated. One would imagine that one of the easiest ways to avoid that would be to allow in IAEA inspectors to be able to convince the Americans and others that of the level of damage that Iran's nuclear process had sustained. Is there a point, do you think, despite what Iran's position is at the moment, do you think there is a point at which Iran would consider allowing inspectors in if it meant avoiding a possible attack?
Rob, here in Tehran, there are discussions that, the other parties, meaning the United States and Western capitals, as well as Israel, they do not have a precise assessment of the extent of the damages inflicted on the nuclear facilities. That's why they are insisting on sending IAEA inspectors to the ground in Tehran in order to have a better evaluation of what happened the other night. So that's why, from this perspective, Tehran is, opposing the inspectors coming. The second point and aspect is the contamination that might have happened in those sites, that Iran is saying that they cannot guarantee the safety of those inspectors. And the third is the law, which recently was passed in Iranian parliament, which suspends any kind of cooperation with the IAEA. For sure, the officials from that agency cannot travel to the country. Iran cannot submit reports on its nuclear activities to the agency, but yet it has not been finalized. And, there are views being exchanged among different Iranian policymakers whether or not to allow those IAEA inspectors to come. But the signals so far have been indicating that it could be difficult to imagine inspectors coming to the country following the aggression which happened, and the point that they might be reporting their assessment results to the Western capitals, including to the United States as well as to Israel.
Abbas Aslani of the Centre for Middle East Strategic Studies. So thank you very much indeed.
My pleasure, Rob.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news and expert insights. Like, share, stay ahead.